The massive alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. 12 dark vessels, each larger than the biggest human aircraft carrier, hung silently above major cities. The world stopped as screens everywhere showed the same message. A tall, grey-skinned being with 6 eyes speaking in perfect English. "People of Earth, I am Grand Admiral Hack of the Vaughn Dominion. Your planet is now under our control. You have 30 Earth days to surrender all resources and accept your place as our subjects. Resistance means destruction. We have conquered 37 star systems before yours. None have successfully opposed us." In the Seoul Defense Command Center, Commander Park felt his mouth go dry as the transmission ended. Around him, military personnel frantically worked at their stations, but he remained frozen, staring at the screen where the alien's face had been. 20 years in the military hadn't prepared him for this. "Sir, we need orders," his second-in-command's voice finally broke through his shock. Park nodded, forcing himself back to the present. "Contact the President, raise our defense readiness to maximum, and someone get me Dr. Kim from the Quantum Institute." 3 hours later, Dr. Kim arrived. At the command center, eyes wide behind her glasses as she studied the readings on her tablet. She was small in stature but commanded attention when she spoke. "Their energy signatures are unlike anything we've seen before," she said, showing Park her data. "They're using some form of quantum displacement drive to maintain orbit. But there's something strange happening where their fields interact with our atmosphere." "Strange how?" Park asked. "Their energy fields are experiencing micro-fluctuations, almost like our atmosphere is causing interference. It's subtle but increasing." She looked up. "They've conquered 37 systems, but I wonder if any were exactly like Earth." Across the city, Colonel Lee sat in an underground bunker with 6 men and women, South Korea's best special forces operators. Maps and satellite images covered the walls. "We know nothing about them," he said simply. "Their weapons, their biology, their weaknesses, all unknowns. Our first mission is purely intelligence gathering." Captain Jin, his explosives expert, raised her hand. "The aliens have set up some kind of forward base in Namsan Park. Small structure, minimal guards." Lee nodded. "That's our target. We observe. Only. No engagement unless absolutely necessary." "What exactly are we looking for?" asked Sergeant Kang, checking his rifle even though they all knew regular bullets might be useless against the aliens. "Anything," Lee replied. "Communication devices, biological samples, weapons technology. Something to help us understand what we're facing." As night fell over Seoul, Lee's team moved silently through the city's shadows. The usually bustling metropolis was eerily quiet under curfew. Occasional alien ships passed overhead, searchlights scanning the streets below. Meanwhile, the United Nations had called an emergency session. Representatives from every nation argued about how to respond. Some wanted immediate surrender to save lives. Others called for united military action. A few suggested trying to communicate peaceful intentions. No one could agree. At the Quantum Institute, Dr. Kim worked through the night, analyzing data from observatories worldwide. Her assistant brought her a 5th cup of coffee as dawn approached. "Look at this," Kim said, pointing to her screen. "The hull integrity of the alien vessels is showing microscopic degradation. It's happening faster on the ships positioned over areas with stronger magnetic fields." "What does it mean?" her assistant asked. "I'm not sure yet," Kim admitted, "but it's as if Earth itself is slowly rejecting them, like white blood cells attacking an infection." When she reported her findings to Commander Park, he seemed doubtful. "You're saying our planet is fighting back naturally?" "Not consciously," Kim explained, "but something about Earth's specific combination of magnetic field, atmosphere, and possibly other factors is creating an environment hostile to their technology. It's very slow, but it's happening." Park sighed. "Even if you're right, it's too slow to help us. The 30-day deadline will pass long before it matters." In Namsan Park, Colonel Lee's team had successfully set up observation posts around the alien forward base. The structure was a metallic dome about 50 meters across. Aliens, tall gray beings in fitted suits, came and went regularly, using high-powered microphones and cameras. They recorded everything. After 24 hours of observation, they had their first piece of useful intelligence. The aliens were experiencing physical discomfort on Earth. "They keep adjusting their breathing apparatus," Sergeant Kang noted, "and their movements seem labored, like they're struggling against our gravity." As the first week of alien occupation passed, riots broke out in major cities. Military forces, worldwide, mobilized, but remained in defensive positions. Scientists worked around the clock studying the limited data available, and all the while, unseen by anyone, Earth's unique properties continued their subtle assault on the invaders, microscopic cracks forming in hull plating, fluctuations in energy fields growing stronger, alien biological systems struggling with Earth's bacteria, gravity, and atmospheric composition. The Vaughn Dominion had conquered 37 worlds before Earth, but none of them had been quite like this blue planet, a world that fought back in ways no one, not even its human inhabitants, fully understood. Remember to keep your response focused and concise. For this fiction writing request, use simple and basic English with no headings as requested. 2 weeks had passed since the arrival of the Vaughn ships. In the large conference room beneath Seoul's National University, Dr. Kim stood before 50 of Earth's top scientists. Her hands shook slightly as she pointed to the projection behind her. "These readings are from the first day of the invasion," she said. "And these are from yesterday. The difference is small but clear. The alien ships are degrading." A scientist from India raised his hand. "How can we be sure this isn't just normal wear on their vessels?" Dr. Kim nodded at the question. "Because the degradation follows a perfect correlation with Earth's magnetic field strength. Ships hovering over the magnetic poles are breaking down almost twice as fast as those near the equator." She switched to the next slide, showing complex energy patterns. "Our planet is fighting back. Earth's unique magnetic field creates quantum interactions that subtly degrade their technology. It's like a natural immune response." Whispers filled the room. For the first time since the invasion, there was a spark of hope. Meanwhile, far to the north, Colonel Lee crouched in the snowy forest of Gangwon Province. Through night vision binoculars, he watched as Captain Choi led 4 soldiers toward a crashed alien scout vessel. The small ship had come down hard an hour earlier after exhibiting strange flight patterns. "Team in position," came Choi's voice through his earpiece. "No movement from inside." "Proceed with caution," Lee ordered. Team approached the vessel carefully. Its hull had a strange, melted appearance where it had contacted Earth soil. The entry hatch was partially open. Captain Choi signaled 2 soldiers to cover her as she peered inside. 2 Vaughn crew, she reported. Both appeared dead or unconscious. After confirming the ship was secure, Colonel Lee joined them. Inside, the 2 alien bodies lay slumped over their control panels. Their grey skin had developed purple splotches, and their breathing apparatus had clearly malfunctioned. Dr. Min, the team's medical specialist, carefully took samples from the aliens and their equipment. "Their biology is responding badly to something in our environment," she said. "Possibly our microbes." They worked quickly, downloading data from the ship's systems and collecting biological samples before rigging the vessel with explosives. They couldn't risk the aliens recovering it. As they trekked back to their hidden base, Captain Choi held up a sealed container with microbe samples. "These are ordinary Earth bacteria that live in our soil and air," she explained to Colonel Lee. "Completely harmless to humans, but they seem deadly to the invaders." 3 days later, the Vaughn finally demonstrated their power. They announced they would destroy an uninhabited island in the Pacific as a warning to Earth. Military satellites and observers watched as 5 alien warships positioned themselves around the small island. When they fired their weapons, something unexpected happened. The energy beams dimmed visibly, and when they struck the island, the resulting explosions were much smaller than expected. Instead of vaporizing the entire landmass, they merely created several large craters. In the Vaughn command ship, Admiral Song slammed his 6-fingered hand against the control panel. "Explain this failure," he demanded of his chief engineer. "Unknown interference, Admiral," the engineer replied, fear evident in his voice. "Our weapons are operating at less than half expected efficiency. The energy dissipates upon contact with the planet's atmosphere." "Fix it," Song hissed. "The Supreme Commander expects results. Double the power output for the next demonstration." Back at the Scientific Council, Dr. Kim received the weapons test data with growing excitement. She immediately called for a secure video conference with Colonel Lee. Their weapons underperformed dramatically, she explained, sending him the analysis. And when they tried to increase power, 3 of their ships experienced system failures. Colonel Lee nodded. Our captive ship data suggests their technology relies on quantum state manipulation that's calibrated for their home world. Earth's different quantum field is like throwing sand in their gears. Dr. Kim leaned closer to the camera. There's more. The microbe samples you recovered? We've confirmed they break down the Vaughn biological systems rapidly. Their environmental suits are the only things protecting them on our planet. Can we weaponize this knowledge? Lee asked. Perhaps, Kim replied. But we might not need to. If they remain here long enough, Earth itself will do the job for us. Their ships cannot maintain integrity in our magnetic field indefinitely. Their weapons lose power in our atmosphere. And if their environmental protection fails, Colonel Lee finished her thought, they die from exposure to our world. For the first time, a real strategy formed in his mind. They didn't need to defeat the aliens in direct combat. They just needed to survive long enough for Earth's natural defenses to work. As night fell over Seoul, Dr. Kim stared out of her laboratory window at the massive alien ship hovering above. The city. Tiny flickers of energy discharge danced across its hull, nearly invisible but growing stronger each day. They don't know it yet, she whispered to herself, but Earth itself is our greatest weapon. 3 weeks into the invasion, the aliens started to get sick. At first, it was just a few ground troops who collapsed during patrols in major cities. Then, the reports grew more frequent. Vaughn soldiers stumbled in the streets. Some fell and couldn't get up. Others fired weapons at shadows, seeing things that weren't there. In the Seoul Command Center, Colonel Lee studied video footage of 3 Vaughn soldiers who had removed their helmets in panic before falling to the ground, gasping. Their grey skin had turned a deep purple before they stopped moving. They're dying, Captain Choi said quietly. Something in our air is killing them. Colonel Lee nodded. Earth's oxygen content is too high for them. Their suits were protecting them, but as the suits malfunction, he didn't need to finish the thought. Nature was doing what human weapons couldn't. On the Vaughn command ship, Admiral Song paced angrily before his officers. Reports of equipment failures flooded in hourly. Communication between ships now required 3 backup systems. Navigational systems showed phantom obstacles that weren't there. Even the artificial gravity fluctuated unpredictably. This is sabotage, Song shouted, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of extreme stress in his species. The humans have found a way to attack our systems. Find it and stop it. His chief engineer bowed low. We have found no evidence of human interference, Admiral. The problems appear to be environmental. This planet's magnetic field seems to— Nonsense, Song cut him off. A primitive planet cannot affect advanced Vaughn technology. The humans are responsible. Double the ground patrols. Find their saboteurs. In a secure underground facility beneath Switzerland's mountains, Dr. Kim presented her findings to 50 world leaders gathered via holographic conference. Her audience listened in stunned silence. The alien communications are breaking down because Earth's magnetic field creates natural quantum interference patterns, she explained, showing them simple diagrams. It's as if Earth's quantum field is gradually reconfiguring their technology. At a subatomic level, something neither we nor they fully understand. The president of Brazil raised her hand. Are you saying we don't need to fight them at all? Just wait? Dr. Kim shook her head. The process is too slow. At the current rate, it would take months before their ships became completely inoperable. Their deadline for our surrender expires in just 8 days. Then what do you suggest? Asked the Chinese premier. Dr. Kim took a deep breath. I've developed devices that can amplify Earth's natural effects on their technology. Small transmitters that enhance the quantum interference patterns. If we can plant these near their ships and bases, we might accelerate the breakdown process. Tenfold. The room erupted in excited conversation. For the first time, there was a real plan, not to attack the aliens head-on, but to enhance Earth's natural defenses against them. Operation Phantom began the next day. Special forces teams from Countries around the world secretly deployed Dr. Kim's devices near Vorn ships and bases. The transmitters were tiny, no larger than a coin, and completely passive, drawing energy from the Earth's magnetic field itself. Colonel Lee led the most dangerous mission himself, placing devices directly beneath the Vorn command ship hovering over Seoul. Under cover of night, his team moved through drainage tunnels carrying 20 of the transmitters. "Remember," he told his soldiers, "these don't emit any signals the aliens can detect. They only amplify what Earth is already doing naturally." They placed the devices at calculated intervals, then retreated to watch the effects. Within hours, the massive command ship began to show signs of distress. Its usual soft humming grew louder, occasionally spiking into painful screeches. The lights flickered. Twice, the ship dropped several meters before catching itself. Similar reports came in from around the world. In New York, a Vorn patrol ship crashed into the East River. In Cairo, all alien communications went silent for 6 hours. In Sydney, 3 ground bases lost power completely. Admiral Song was beyond furious. Half his fleet now reported critical systems failures. A third of his ground forces were incapacitated by mysterious illnesses. His own flagship, the mighty dreadnought that had led conquests across 37 star systems, now struggled to maintain basic life support. "Find the human weapons," he screamed at his officers. "They must have developed some kind of energy." "Attack!" His science officer tried again to explain. "Admiral, our tests show no energy weapons. The humans don't have the technology. It's this planet's natural field that's—" Silence. Song struck the officer with his ceremonial staff. "I will not be defeated by primitives on a backwater world. Prepare the final attack. We will use all remaining functional weapons to destroy their major cities. The Supreme Commander will understand when I explain that this planet is unnaturally hostile." As the Admiral raged, Dr. Kim and Colonel Lee met in a small safe house outside Seoul. Reports from their operation flowed in continuously. "It's working better than we hoped," Dr. Kim said, looking at her data. "The transmitters have amplified the quantum interference by a factor of 12. Their ships are breaking down rapidly now." Colonel Lee nodded. "Their ground troops can barely function. Many remove their suits in confusion, then die from oxygen toxicity within minutes." Dr. Kim looked troubled. "But will it be enough? Our intelligence suggests they're planning a final massive attack. If they launch all weapons simultaneously, before their ships fail completely." Colonel Lee placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we keep fighting. Earth is fighting for us, Dr. Kim. We just need to hold on a little longer." Outside, the massive Vorn command ship now showed visible damage. Sections of its hull had begun to crack. Energy discharges sparked across its surface like lightning. Earth was rejecting the invaders, one molecule at a time. The military radar operator blinked twice, then rubbed his eyes. The large alien vessel that had been hovering over Bangkok for 3 weeks had simply vanished from his screen. He checked other systems, thinking it was a malfunction. "Sir," he called to his supervisor, "we've lost contact with Vorn Ship 7. The supervisor rushed over. "Lost contact how? Did it move?" "No, sir. It just disappeared." One moment, it was there, the next, nothing. Similar reports flooded in from monitoring stations across the globe. 21 days after their arrival, alien ships were vanishing without warning or explanation. No explosions, no retreat, just complete disappearance. In her laboratory, Dr. Kim worked frantically to understand what was happening. Her instruments had recorded massive energy spikes at the exact moments when ships vanished. She pulled up the readings, hands shaking with excitement and fear. "It can't be," she whispered, checking her calculations a third time. She immediately called for an emergency meeting with world leaders and military commanders. Colonel Lee joined her via secure video link from his field position. "Their ships aren't being destroyed in the conventional sense," Dr. Kim explained, displaying complex energy diagrams on the screen. "Their faster-than-light technology is creating unstable quantum rifts when exposed to our magnetic field. After 3 weeks of degradation, the ship's containment systems can no longer manage the instability." "What exactly happens to them?" asked the French president. Dr. Kim took a deep breath. "They're being pulled into microscopic quantum singularities, essentially tiny black holes of their own making. Their drive systems are collapsing space-time around them. Stunned silence filled the room. Finally, Colonel Lee spoke up from his video screen. "How many more ships will face this fate?" "All of them," Dr. Kim replied. "It's just a matter of time. Our transmitters have accelerated the process, but even without them, Earth's magnetic field would eventually destabilize all their quantum technology." On the Vorn command ship, Admiral Song received the reports with growing horror. 6 vessels gone already, including his largest destroyer. Communications with the Vorn homeworld had failed completely. The control room around him flickered as power systems struggled. "What is happening to my fleet?" he demanded, grabbing his chief scientist by the throat. "The quantum drives, Admiral," gasped the scientist. "Something about this planet's magnetic field is causing quantum feedback loops in our faster-than-light systems. The drives are creating micro-rifts in space-time. Can it be stopped?" The scientist looked down. "Only by shutting down all quantum-based systems and retreating using conventional propulsion." Admiral Song released him with a push. "Retreat. The Vorn Dominion does not retreat. We have never failed to conquer a world in our history." He turned to his weapons officer. "Prepare all remaining ships for immediate attack. Target every major human city simultaneously. We will not be defeated by primitive beings on a backwater planet." Alarms blared throughout the ship as systems began to fail. Warning lights flashed across every control panel. The floor beneath them vibrated with unnatural frequency. "Admiral," pleaded his second-in-command, "the drives are becoming unstable. If we attempt to use our weapons at full power, we risk—" "Silence," Song shouted. "Execute the attack now." From his observation post in the mountains, Colonel Lee watched through high-powered binoculars as the massive Vorn command ship began to glow with unnatural light. Energy readings from his portable scanner went off the charts. "They're powering up all weapons," he reported to Dr. Kim over the secure line. "But something doesn't look right." The alien fleet, now reduced to 16 ships from the original 24, moved into attack formation above major cities worldwide. Their weapons ports opened, glowing with deadly energy. In command centers around the world, military leaders watched with held breath, knowing they had no effective defense against a full-scale alien bombardment. The first alien missiles launched from ships over New York, Tokyo, and Cairo simultaneously. But as they streaked toward Earth, something strange happened. The missiles began to shimmer, then vanished completely before impact. Next, the aliens fired their energy weapons. Massive beams shot toward Earth, but midway through their trajectory, the beams twisted back on themselves like snakes, striking the ships that had fired them. 3 Vorn vessels exploded instantly. In Seoul, the command ship's weapon systems catastrophically malfunctioned. Instead of firing forward, energy erupted from all sides of the vessel. The ship shuddered violently, its hull cracking open in dozens of places. Then, something even more extraordinary happened. The space around the command ship seemed to bend and distort. Light itself warped around the vessel. For a brief moment, the ship appeared to fold in on itself, compressing from a kilometer-long behemoth to a tiny point of blindingly intense light. Then it was gone. Where the mighty flagship had hovered, only empty sky remained. The pattern repeated worldwide. One by one, the attacking ships flickered, distorted, and vanished in brilliant flashes of light. Their own weapons either disappeared or backfired against them. In her laboratory, Dr. Kim watched the energy readings with wide eyes. "It's happening faster than I predicted," she whispered. "Their weapon systems are accelerating the quantum collapse." Around the world, humans stared at the sky in disbelief. The alien fleet that had threatened global destruction was disappearing before their eyes, pulled into microscopic quantum singularities of their own making. Within 1 hour, 17 Vorn ships had vanished completely. Only 7 remained, and these were clearly damaged, drifting aimlessly, their lights flickering, energy discharges crawling across their hulls like electric snakes. Colonel Lee watched the last ship over Seoul struggle to maintain altitude. They never understood what they were facing, he said softly. Not us, but Earth itself. The invasion that was supposed to add Earth as the 38th conquered world to the Vorn Dominion was ending. Not with humanity's destruction, but with the invaders being swallowed by the very fabric of space-time, triggered by the unique quantum properties of the planet they had come to conquer. The 7 remaining Vaughn ships struggled to maintain position in Earth's orbit. Their hulls glowed with unstable energy, crackling with blue-white discharges that grew more intense by the hour. After witnessing the disappearance of 17 vessels, the surviving alien commanders made a desperate decision. "They're moving," reported the radar technician at the Seoul Defense Command. "All remaining ships are climbing to higher orbit." Commander Park nodded grimly. "They're trying to retreat." The aliens activated their conventional thrusters, avoiding their quantum drives that had proven so deadly near Earth. But it was too late. The damage to their systems was already too extensive. As the ships accelerated away from Earth, warning alarms blared in their control rooms. Energy readings spiked dangerously. One by one, 5 more ships vanished in brilliant flashes of light, trapped by the same quantum phenomena they had triggered. Only 2 small vessels escaped Earth's gravitational influence, limping away on minimal power. Humanity held its collective breath for 3 days, waiting to see if the aliens would return with reinforcements. But the skies remained empty, except for their own satellites and the scattered debris of alien technology that had crashed to Earth. 1 month after the failed invasion, Dr. Kim stood before the United Nations General Assembly. Her simple black suit contrasted with the colorful national dress of many representatives. Behind her, large screens displayed data from the alien ships. "Earth exists at a unique quantum junction point in the universe," she explained, her voice calm despite the historical importance of her discovery. "Our planet's magnetic field, atmospheric composition and position in the solar system create a natural defense mechanism no one could have anticipated. Not us, and certainly not the Vaughn." She showed them a 3-dimensional model of Earth's quantum field. "This configuration is extremely rare. It creates what we might call a quantum immune system that gradually rejects foreign technology operating on principles calibrated for other parts of the universe." "Are you saying we're naturally protected from alien invasion?" asked the Secretary General. Dr. Kim nodded. "To some extent, yes. Advanced technologies that try to manipulate space-time, like faster-than-light drives or high-energy weapons, become unstable in our quantum environment. The more powerful the technology, the faster it breaks down." A murmur of amazement spread through the assembly hall. In another part of the world, Colonel Lee led a team of international scientists and military specialists through the remains of a crashed Vaughn scout ship. Unlike the larger vessels that had vanished completely, this small craft had simply fallen from the sky when its systems failed. "The data core is intact," announced a computer specialist, carefully removing a crystal-like object from the ship's control panel. "If we can decode it, we might learn everything about the Vaughn." 3 days later, in a secure facility, they succeeded. The alien database projected 3-dimensional star maps showing the Vaughn Empire spanning a significant portion of the galaxy. Planet after planet had fallen to their superior technology. None had offered effective resistance. "They conquered dozens of worlds without real opposition," Colonel Lee told Dr. Kim when she joined him to review the findings. "But they never encountered a planet with Earth's unique properties." Dr. Kim studied the data with growing wonder. "Look at this. There are records of other invasion attempts of Earth, not just by the Vaughn. Earlier scouting missions dating back centuries. All failed with unexplained technical difficulties." She pulled up an ancient Vaughn text that had been automatically translated. "They classified Earth as a ghost world, a planet that seems habitable but is surrounded by ship-eating energy." Colonel Lee smiled for the first time in weeks. "We've been protected all along. That's why no aliens have successfully invaded before." He paused, looking thoughtful. "But what does this mean for us? If we develop similar technology and try to leave Earth—" "It works both ways," Dr. Kim confirmed. "Our quantum environment protects us, but it also creates challenges for our own advanced technology development. We'll need to develop space travel that works with Earth's quantum field, not against it." 6 months later, in research centers around the world, scientists and engineers began the careful process of reverse engineering the remaining alien technology. They learned to modify the quantum principles to function stably within Earth's unique field. The first prototype drives were small and limited, but they worked. On the night before the first test flight of a ship using modified Vaughn technology, Dr. Kim stood on the roof of the research facility, gazing at the stars. Commander Park joined. Their relationship having grown closer through the crisis. "Are you nervous about tomorrow?" he asked. She shook her head. "Excited. We're doing something the Vaughn never considered, working with the natural laws of our quantum junction, rather than forcing our way through them." "Where will we go? What will we do when we reach other worlds?" Park wondered. Dr. Kim smiled. "We won't be conquerors like the Vaughn. We'll be explorers, and perhaps teachers." "Teachers of what?" "Of balance," she said softly. "The universe taught us something valuable through this invasion. Even the most powerful technology must respect the natural order of things. The Vaughn tried to overcome every obstacle with brute force and eventually found something they couldn't conquer. In the laboratory, below them, the Earth's first quantum-balanced starship waited for its maiden voyage. Its design incorporated the lessons learned from the invasion, not how to dominate space, but how to travel through it in harmony with the underlying fabric of reality. Humanity was ready to venture into the stars, not as conquerors, but as students, who had learned that the universe maintained balance in ways even the most advanced civilizations could never overcome.